getting a lot of experience.
Ready, sir.
Like, compare the difference in experience generation. I have a significant number of both doing this.
Ready to move.
Right, Field Marshal. We have Brooke and Montgomery. Brooke's a defensive doctrine. Career Officer, cautious. Not very likely to get shot. Monty, defense and logistics. Cautious, both of them are cautious. Media personality. Organizer, supply consumption. Org loss when moving. Both super defensive. I don't think I've played as Britain since Waking the Tiger brought in battle groups. In fact, I'm fairly sure I haven't. So, both of them are uber defensive. I would say that Brooke is actually more defensive because of his defensive doctrine. Chances are our army will be deployed in France first, so we're going to put Brooke in charge. And then we're going to have probably 2 units. We're going to have the mobile unit and we're going to have the rigid defensive unit. Flipping hell, Auchinleck is an amazing defender. Well, Auchinleck's going to be the main commander then. I like him already. Richie is also pretty good. An armour officer who's defensive. Hence the Churchill tank, I guess. Okay, the Brits have quite a few commanders. Beckwith Smith, Commando. Trickster, Old Guard, Cautious. Horrocks could be quite good. William Gott, I remember him from my Kaiserreich games. Wavell, Promotion Cast, Infantry Officer, Career Officer. Alright, so Dempsey's pretty good. Auchinleck's modifiers again? Auchinleck's also good, but we're going to want to give Dempsey a job. Sooner rather than later so we can train him up. In fact, sod it, I'm going to give him the role right now. This is a meritocracy, damn it. Alan Brooke was the in real life commander of the British Army. Yeah, I knew. Is it New Zealand has that fantastic General Freyberg? I'm not sure. I know what Britain doesn't have. They don't have Hefferink or whatever his name was. The Dutch Donitz. Who was better than Donitz? Like the most ridiculous submarine commander. Kind of crazy. So we should be getting through the ship production pretty quickly. Which is good. We're not currently buying in anything. We could do with more oil, so we may want to improve the infrastructure of some of the oil production centres. Greater London area is building the civilian factories. West Midlands are getting civilian factories. Good. Good. Hey, Kubik.
Ready.
Oh, and in fact, the Imperial army could also have a commander. In fact, Monty could be in charge of the Imperials. That's actually a really good idea. Duh. Can always replace him later.
Ready, sir.
Alright, so the Africa Corps. Trickster, War Hero. I probably don't want my best commanders. O'Connor is going to be a good choice for Africa. Who's this? Malaysia. Malaysia is going to have to fight a fairly defensive battle. Ritchie could be good. Wilson. Wilson's going to work. Hong Kong's not going to do a lot. So we want somebody who is middling at best. Jackie Smith. Smythe. Gibraltar, kind of the same thing. Pownell.
Ready, sir.
Malta, kind of the same thing. Hutton. Actually, Africa Corps might want someone better. I mean, who's this? O'Connor is not terrible. He is very, very defensive. We probably do want somebody who is better with supply. Do we have any force supplies? Gott is. Wavell is. Less is. Cunningham is. Ritchie is. Oh, actually, Harold Alexander might be good. Alexander was a good commander. Yeah, 4435. Alexander's actually going to be a really good officer for Africa. Cool. Hey, Marshall. Yeah, Poland. I'm still not entirely sure how it happened, but my convoys disappeared. Lend-Lease is just horrifically broken, so I wasn't getting reinforcements anyway. And then as soon as my convoys were dead, I was stuck in North Africa. Moscow had just fallen. Asia, I would say, was kind of flipping between the two. Asia is where the Allies could possibly, maybe have won. But I checked Britain and they were getting no Lend-Lease from anyone except for Canada. So Lend-Lease, I think, was just completely broken. Like, America wasn't giving any Lend-Lease to anyone.
Ready.
So, disappointing, but... yeah.
Commands. Orders.
I guess we do want a armor commander in training. Who's my best attacker? Cunningham? But he's not an armor guy. Campbell is. Campbell's not bad at attacking. Lease might actually be even better. Although division recovery rate in armor is a bad trait. Wavell could be good too. Promotion costs cheaper. Or Horrocks. Though Horrocks sucks at attacking. He's got like all the traits for a really good tank commander. He just kind of sucks. Campbell's going to be with the tank commander. Okay. Am I building ships? Yes, Mike. I am building ships. I don't think you could ever really call yourself a UK player if you're not building ships. It would be an illegal move.
All in.
I was wondering why that was in that line. Because they weren't actually being commanded by the Field Marshal. Now they are. Remilitarization of the Rhineland. Several German divisions recently advanced into the Rhineland, marking the first time since the end of the Great War that Germany has forces positioned west of the Rhine. This is in clear violation of the Versailles Treaty, under which Germany is forbidden from militarizing the region. The French seem content to limit their response to this breach of diplomatic objections, and public opinion in Britain is firmly against a war. Meanwhile, we start rearming. We can't get Shadow Scheme because we're going to need 5% world tension, and we are currently... wait, we're at 5. I should be able to get this. Oh well. Motorized army, I don't think that those are particularly useful. I'm annoyed that I can't get the Shadow Scheme. Let's give it 24 hours and see if that's still true. Germany has stationed troops in the Rhineland territory. It's no more than Germans walking in their own backyard. Nope, still can't. Weird. Alright, well I guess we're going to have to choose something else. So we need to choose steady as she goes or a change of course. We're definitely going to go steady as she goes. Huzzah! That gives us weekly stability for a year and also democracy. We do need stability to counteract Edward, or we can reinforce the Empire. Swift Train coming in with the 8-month subscription there. Think of the porpoises. Thank you so much for your subscription. I appreciate that. The resubscription, rather. Do I have a decision to give the Germans and the Italians refuge? I do indeed, yes. Although I'm trying to get a political advisor while Baldwin's still in charge. In fact, with that in mind, I might actually take a focus. Because I don't know when's the election. November 39. Oh, I have 3 years. Really? Chamberlain came in that late? Really? No, Baldwin must die or something. I don't believe that he comes in that late. Baldwin resigns. It's not the true election. Okay, that's what I thought. How's the home fleet doing? Are we training? So we should be. Yeah, and you're actually almost done. We have 10 days of fuel. I should probably invest in some more fuel. So we're currently generating 1.3 thousand. And we are using 2.1. You know what? Fine. I'm just not going to fuel my ships properly. Chamberlain came in May 37. Okay, good to know. So we've got about a year. National focus, service overseas, which grants hot acclimatization factor gain plus 10. That's going to be pretty useful. In fact, we do kind of want to get to colonial elite earlier rather than later. Which advisor was it we were waiting to get? There were 2. The War Industrialist, who we don't need immediately, and then the Silent Workhorse. Yeah, I want to get Philip Kerr as soon as possible. Mars Diver, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Who are you? What are you in port? Go home, you're drunk. And you. Right, is there anyone else who wants to tell me something about them not being in port right now? No, I think everyone else is. Good. Never Aborts, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Oh dear, we seem to be out of fuel. My fleet is receiving like half of what it needs.
Yes, sir. Ready, sir.
The army is nearly trained. So what gear are we lacking? 13,000 infantry gear. Actually, we should probably take a look at our template. So we have engineers, we have artillery, and 18 combat width. So we're going to want 1 more infantry unit, or 2 artillery. We can take a decision. 30 days until the second London conference. Okay. I don't think there's anything I need to do with that. One is when this is finished training. So the Hood is the first regular ship in the fleet. A couple of these getting a little bit damaged, but it's not a huge problem. Let's go speed 5. We're just waiting for time to pass, really. Tomorrow. Probably. There we are. So let's go and hire Philip Kerr now. Now the question is, do we want to try and get the other one cheaper, or do we want to start on the focuses? I think we really need to start on the focuses. Has tension changed at all? It's actually gone down. Right. Reinforce the Empire. Our Empire is vast, and despite our power, weakly defended. To combat this, we need to encourage Imperial patriotism throughout the realm. Okay, so you lot have finished training. Congratulations. Go home. Who's next? You're next. Channel Force. Upgrade. Promote. And now we're generating fuel, as I suspected we might. The home fleet is double the size of the Channel Force. The Second London Naval Treaty has been signed. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan and the US met in December of 35 to discuss a renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated after Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as the equal to Britain and the US. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on the limit to the size of battleships and carriers in the hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. Have the sizes changed at all? We're currently between 90% and 100% of Britain in the capital ship strength. Really? I'm probably at 100% of Britain's capital strength. Basic machine tools complete. We are still in May of 36, so I think it's time for some concentrated industry. The Blitz be damned. And there we go, 1936 heavy ship hulls are done. Now I think we're going to want to research active sonar. Something tells me that that could probably be useful going forwards. Maybe, possibly, perhaps. Do the trade thing with the Dutch. I don't need to until the Germans do. It's still early. Alright, you guys have finished training, so now it is time to start shifting troops around. So let's move the infantry divisions to you, and the cavalry brigades to you. So we're not going to be generating any more army experience, we're just going to be getting it through focuses. Sending expeditionary forces is considered an act of war and can't be done by a country that isn't in the war. You must be at war to receive expeditionaries. Okay. I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to start training some early troops, but apparently that's not a thing. Good to know. So now we just kind of need to keep an eye on these guys to ensure they continue training. Italy has taken a state, Ethiopia has been annexed. Meanwhile, the reserve fleet continues to grow with the new ships. So I probably should set up the task forces. We'll do that in 38, 39 time, because I don't think we're going to need to before then. Just been designing a destroyer escort, cheap destroyer with sonar, lots of depth charges, one level 1 gun, one level 1 engine, and watch it sink the submarines. Yep. That's definitely the way to do it for the escort destroyers, not so much for the recon destroyers. So you probably want 2 different types of destroyers, maybe even 3. For some time, King Edward VIII has entertained hopes to marry the American Wallis Simpson. A constitutional crisis has now arisen as Miss Simpson is not only divorced from her previous husband, but in point of fact still married to her current husband, presently pursuing a second divorce. General outrage has ensued on the grounds that, as king and being the head of the Church of England, Edward cannot marry a divorcee. The king, however, has made it abundantly clear that he is very much in love with Miss Simpson, and intends to marry her regardless of the opinions of his government or his subjects. As such, only 3 options remain open to him. The British government and the governments of the Dominions have already stated that any alternative to abdication would be unacceptable, and repercussions of trying to force through a marriage, even an attempted compromise, would likely be dire, not only for Britain itself but also for its ties to the Commonwealth. As the King's closest advisers continue their attempts to convince him, the public awaits with bated breath the resolution of the conflict between the King and the Cabinet. If he will not change his mind, he must abdicate. Compromise on a morganatic marriage? Or insist on the royal marriage? So, a little bit towards non-aligned, massively towards non-aligned, or bugger off. Alright, so we finished the reinforcing the Empire. We can now do service overseas. Do we have world tension? We have enough world tension. Right, let's get the shadow scheme so that we can start working on the industrial side. The Air Ministry has come up with a brilliant suggestion for easier conversion of civilian factories into military ones. With the appropriate grants and loans to various key companies, their factories can be expanded and adapted in advance to make the transition to military applications much smoother. And actually, before we do that, industrial effort's going to be industrial tech. These are all military factories. I don't necessarily need military factories right now. I need civilian ones. Well, that one still opens up access to all the other stuff, because I do want to get colonial elite sooner rather than later. And in fact, I'm going to want the Commonwealth ties. These are civilian. Yeah, I'm going to want those fairly soon too. Could have a 5th mine layers and minesweepers. That's true. Morganatic means the wife and kids won't have any claims to the throne. Ah, okay. I wonder if the decision of the UK in that instance impacts the decision for Queen Wallis Simpson. Not actually sure where that would be. Because I know it's an option. I don't want to look too closely at the American tree, because I probably will do one at some point. Queen Wallis' decision is in the British tree. You sure? Oh, is that if we, like, re-establish... Oh, it must be one of these. King's Party. Unite the Anglosphere. It's to impose her on a conquered and puppet America. Gotcha. Okay. We do have some decisions which are available. We need to wait until we have 100 for these two. King Edward abdicates. Prime Minister Baldwin's made it quite clear that the dignity of the King Emperor will be impinged if he were to marry not just a commoner, but also a divorcee, and if that's not bad enough, an American. After much soul-searching, His Majesty has chosen love over duty and has chosen to abdicate. His younger brother, Albert, will assume the mantle as King George VI. London bookmakers are already taking odds on whether this shy man will make it to his own coronation. Wow. Plus 15 stability, just like his father. Okay, our stability is redonkulous. So we got lucky. That abdication happened really quickly. Because sometimes that abdication can really string out, and then you're left with permanently lowered stability. We haven't had that problem. This is a strong UK so far. Alright, so we've got construction. We could go towards synthetic refineries, although that's mostly a way to get rubber. This is the oil development. Now I know that. We could also do depth charge throwers. Yes, I think I would like to do that. Also, in fact, we could work on some of this stuff, like the damage control. Or naval doctrines. Or land doctrines. Or better tanks. You know what, let's get some better tanks. We're going to go more mechanized. I might actually go superior firepower with Britain this time. Because, yeah, from my experiences with Poland, I'm still going to say that Grand Battle Plan is massively underwhelming. Aha! So we've actually finished virtually all of the ships that we were trying to build. We could get some updated battleships. I think we probably ought to. Or cruisers. Let's just take a look at the status of our navy first of all. So you have got 1 carrier, 5 battleships, 3 battle cruisers, a heavy cruiser, 3 light cruisers, 20 destroyers. We know that battleships and destroyers are very good under... oh, we have some older destroyers here. Why can't those upgrade? Oh, because they're tier 1. These are tier 2s, I see. Fuel is just broken, the Axis can't do anything. That has not been my experience so far, Rhino Man. The last 2 games I've played as, the Axis won. Are the Axis powers buffed up at all? Yes, all 3 of them. Yeah, I think I do want to have a new battleship. At least 1 or 2 of them. Let's get rid of that. Could also upgrade our carriers. No, I don't think I want to. I think I want new battleships. So I'm going to develop this one specifically to take on the Italians in the Mediterranean. So heavy battery. We're going to do a fair amount of anti-air on here. Because this is an inland sea that we're fighting in. Do I need recon? On the battleships, no. The battleships are purely for smashing. That's way too expensive. Okay. We can replace some of the heavy batteries with secondary batteries. Or some more anti-air. Oh, you are kidding me! AA1's not going to be enough. What about heavy battery 1? No. Oh, we could turn it into a battle cruiser. That would actually solve the problem. Okay, so we've got these new battle cruisers. How are they at shallow seas? Slightly reduced positioning. Do they work differently to battleships? No, same. Okay, I like this. These are going to be my Mediterranean battle cruisers. They have a ridiculous anti-air. They're fast. Pretty strong. Decent light attack. Decent heavy attack, I hope. Surface visibility isn't insane. Let's do 1 more secondary battery. In fact, secondary batteries are... Wait. No, they are heavier. These are still meant to be primarily warships. The screens, the AA screen should be destroyers and light cruisers. And aircraft. And carriers. In fact, my Mediterranean fleet should have the carriers.